All right, cool. Awesome. So, guys, not only is David somebody who is very well respected around the world, he's somebody who literally knows every single thing about, well, not every single thing about belief and faith, but he's somebody who's really locked in. And see, my life changed at the age of 24 years old. My life changed when two people came into my life. The first one was Chad Thompson, and the second one was David Imonitie. And I truly believe that when God wants to do something new in your life, he's going to send people or he's going to send a person into your life. And when that person comes into your life, you got to respect that voice. You got to honor that voice because what's on their life can find a way to get on your life. Obviously, Moses was that person for Joshua. Jesus was that person for the disciples. And Chad and David, they were the people for me. And what I love about David, what I believe is going to continue to advance David outside of, the things that he knows is more importantly his heart. David has a heart for serving. He has a heart for giving. I never forget going to an event that he put on for his foundation, and the amount of money that was given to the foundation, he turned around and gave it right back to another foundation. So I'm like, man, wait a minute. This dude is a lot different. And I believe just like David in the Bible, his heart is what got him advanced. I believe it's going to be the same thing for our David that we have on the line tonight. I told you guys a story about a week or two ago when my wife was battling with some things in the hospital after we had our son Keegan, and David was the first person to show up at the hospital. Like, it was outside of my mom and Sydney's mom. David was the first person outside of our immediate family to show up at the hospital. He was the first one to see Keegan and all that type of stuff. So he's somebody who I'm going to ride with to the very end of this. I'm excited to have him on the call, guys. I'm excited. He hasn't been on our call like over a year, and I felt it was the perfect time to have somebody who literally lives in the supernatural. He's an example of what living in the supernatural looks like, getting supernatural results in every single area of his life. And like I said before, God won't expose you to things that you can't have. Exposure is intended to ignite in you an appetite for more. So as we get exposed to somebody tonight, especially the people that haven't heard from David before, you're going to be exposed to somebody who literally is he's the pinnacle of what we all strive to be in this particular business. So with that being said, let me see if I can find David, unmute him so that we can get this call on the road. David, I think this is you. David, iPhone. Is that you, bro?
That is me.
Boom, we're in the mix, man.
What's going on, big time?
Man, excited to have you here, bro. Notes and everything is ready.
Awesome. Well, thank you for inviting me on the call. And yeah, I thought it was funny the other day. I was kind of going through some old pictures, and I saw your Platinum 5000 recognition flyer, and I just smiled because I could remember meeting you in Atlanta in the parking lot. I think I don't think you've hit P1000 yet.
I wasn't even in the company.
Yeah, right. You weren't even in the company at that time, and but I could see you had this quiet confidence about yourself, right? You weren't like, overly, arrogant, or you weren't loud at all, but you gave me a look like, hey, I'm gonna be big time in this opportunity. I'm gonna do extremely well. And from that very beginning, I could tell you right now that I've always believed in you from that very moment. So I want to say congratulations to you and your entire organization. I know you got hundreds and hundreds of people. Wow. Okay. Almost 700 people on this call right now. So congratulations to you and Sydney and Keegan and your entire family on the success that you guys. Sorry about that. I was getting a phone call there on the success that you guys are having right now. And I know you wanted me to come on and share about the supernatural. And, I think it's a very important topic. And I think it's exciting that is the frame of mind that you want your entire organization to really be focused on right now. And I think everybody should be focused on the supernatural, because that's what we have available to us. We have the ability to create the supernatural right here on this earth. And I think by the end of this call here tonight, I think everybody will see the simplicity of really how they can have supernatural success in their business, and the simplicity of it. It's really going to be exciting when you told me what the topic was, like I always do, I always look up words and see what the meaning of it is. And, when you find the meaning of a word, it can kind of give you the understanding as to how things, how that word has played into your life, And so I'll jump right into it. And I don't know, maybe later on, maybe you have some questions for me. But when I looked up supernatural, and you can go on, Google and just type in the meaning of the word supernatural. What I saw was, it said that it was manifestation attributed to some force beyond scientific understanding or the laws of nature. Okay. But you guys understand what this is. It says manifestation attributed to some force beyond scientific understanding or laws of nature, or the laws of nature. I truly believe that what you are accomplished and what your team has accomplished is already supernatural. When you look at what is supposed to happen for you, right? I don't know what level of education that you had. Did you finish college?
Yeah, I finished.
You did? Okay, well, congratulations. Where'd you go?
Tennessee and Georgia Southern.
Okay, Tennessee, Georgia Southern. All right. So finish college, and what was your degree in? Do you remember? What was your degree in? Can you hear me? I don't know if you're muted.
Sociology. I was muted out.
Okay, sociology. All right. So you're not using that degree right now, right?
Clearly.
And you have the millions and millions of dollars of business that your organization is doing right now. That is supernatural. You're not supposed to under what society would say, you're not supposed to have the type of success that you're having right now. And so, when I looked up that word, and it said that it was the manifestation attributed to some force, right, beyond scientific understanding of the laws of nature. A couple things that I wanted to really focus on in that definition was what that some force was. What is that some force that they're talking about, right? And it says is the manifestation attributed to some force. So for everybody that's listening right now, what you really want to focus in on is, okay, if I'm going to have supernatural success in this business, in my life, I need to identify a couple things. I need to identify what manifest is, and then I need to identify what that some force is. What is that some force? And I believe that force is God. All right. I believe that force is God. And what happened for me, and I've been sharing this really for the past week or so, it's really important right now to understand this. When I understood that there was a connection, when I understood that there was a link, a direct link between me and God, everything changed for me. And it happened in 2010. It happened 10 years ago, right around this time. 10 years ago, I'll never forget it. I was in tears for 9 days straight. I'll never forget it. It was probably the greatest 9 days of my life, because I was so enlightened to what it is that I had been taught ever since I was a kid. And it just became so real to me that, okay, this force, this power, God is not away from me. He's not somebody in the sky. He's actually on the inside of me. Okay. He's actually on the inside of me. And I started to teach this, and I said, I said, if Jesus was alive today, like the physical Jesus, like, right, the one that lived 2,000 years ago, if he was alive today and they said he lived in Japan, and you really wanted something, would you leave wherever you are right now, and would you go to Japan to go see him? Absolutely, you would. You would drop everything and you would go. If you had a need, you would go. But the reality of it is that, and I don't want to go too deep on this for you guys, but I'm going to try and make this really simple as possible. If Jesus was alive today, obviously you would go and see him, right? But the reality of it is that he is alive, and he's alive in his word. So the supernatural force, right, that this definition is talking about, that force actually lives on the inside of you. Now, what I did was I took it one step further, and I said, okay, well, what does the word manifest mean? All right, manifest, right? And it says that it's clear or obvious to the eye or mind. All right. So to manifest something is to make something clear or obvious to your eyes or your mind. Get that? Like really, really understand that. Whatever it is that you want to manifest, all right? This supernatural thing that you want to happen in your life. It is supernatural to get to $100,000 a year, $100,000 a month, $100,000 a week. That's not normal. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't just wake up and make that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't happen like that. And it says that in order for something to manifest, the meaning of that, it means that it's clear and it's obvious to your eyes and to your mind. So anything you're going to manifest, ladies and gentlemen, you have to make sure that it is clearly in the view of your eyes and clearly in the view of your mind. All right? Because remember, it says that out of sight, out of mind. All right? Out of sight, out of mind. So whatever it is that's manifested in my life, Riyadh, think about this. Whatever's manifested in my life, first, what happened was it was clear to my eyes. I had pictures of it. I had signs of it. I had words of it, okay? All over the place. I could see it. It was clear to my mind. It was clear to my eyes. And then, boom, it manifested. And the amazing thing about this is that it doesn't have to make sense to another man. It doesn't have to make sense from a scientific standpoint. All it says is that there's some force that is beyond. So what is that force that is beyond? That force is words. That's what it is. It's your words that is the force. Anybody who's ever accomplished anything that you would say is supernatural, it started with words. Started with that. You know, we're utilizing Zoom right now. Zoom was created by a man, right? It was created by a man or a woman, right? And it was some words that came together for Zoom to be created, and now it's made a huge impact in the world, to where even though this pandemic has taken place, we were able to increase, we were able to grow, because someone that we don't even know created something that is supernatural. Because 500 years ago, if you had Zoom 500 years ago, they would probably kill you, right? Like they would think that you were a witch or some warlock if you showed up with a phone. Think about this now. If you showed up with a phone, I've been watching a lot of these, you know, old English kingdom movies, right? Like in the 1500s, if you showed up with a phone, they would have thought you were crazy. They would have thought you were completely, like, where are you from? They would have thought you from out of this world. Today, you don't look at it like that, but back then it was supernatural. Just like how 100 years from now, we don't know what the world is going to look like 100 years from now. They're going to look at what we're doing right now as something that's old, right? Like back in the day, you had to go, if you wanted to make a phone call, you had to get to a payphone. Like if you saw someone today using a payphone, you would think something was wrong with them, right? And back then, they would have thought what we're doing right now was supernatural. It was beyond scientific understanding or the laws of nature. So understand that you have this force that's on the inside of you. You have the ability. You have the ability, ladies and gentlemen, just like those people that you brought on that hit Platinum 600, those individuals have the same ability to go P1 and P2 and chairman and become millionaires. At one point when I started this industry at 21, I was living with my dad on a twin-size bed, literally no headboard, just a pillow and a box spring and a mattress, twin. It was a twin bed, no joke. I had the, you know, we didn't have a whole lot of room, so I had the Bowflex, in my room, and then I had my bed, and I had a TV that was the size of my head, literally. And what I did was there was these three guys that were six-figure earners in this in a network marketing company I was at, and they were called the three CEOs, and they had this flyer. I took their flyer and I posted it on my TV, so I didn't watch TV. Okay, so that was me at 21, right? And then you look up 16 years later, you say, well, if someone that knew me back then, they would, man, how did that happen? How did you go from that to this? And the same thing's going to happen 13 years from now. When I turn 50, people are like, man, how do you go from where he was at 37 to where he is right now at 50? It's all supernatural. And each and every one of you have the ability to do it, because that ability is on the inside of you. You were created, you were created, in the likeness. You were created in his image. So the abilities that he has, they're in you as well. And it doesn't matter how big the goal is, because look, it says manifestation attributed to some force beyond scientific understanding or the laws of nature. But in order to manifest something, all it means is that it was clear and it was obvious. So my question for you is, what's obvious in your life right now? If I walk into your home right now, is it obvious that you're going to be a millionaire? What's clear about where it is that you're going? What's clear about what it is that you're manifesting right now? And it says that it's obvious to the eye or the mind. Well, before it can get to your mind, it first has to go through your eyes. It first has to go through your eyes. And this is really, if you really understand that, you're not going to look at your goals as something that is insurmountable, right? When I made the connection that, God was on the inside of me and he could do the impossible. And because he was inside of me, that meant that I could do the impossible. Not because I'm great, not because I'm amazing, but because I made the connection that the one who can do the impossible has the ability to work through me. So I just applied that in business. I applied that. And that's why I don't, I watch people, I listen to people, and, they're worried about this and they're worried about that. And I'm like, what are you worried about? Like, seriously, what are you worried about? Like, if you understand the laws of success, if you understand how all of this is working for your good, whatever challenge that you're facing right now, it's just preparing you for where it is that you're going. That's all it is. It's just preparing you. I mean, like, Rhea, I saw that flyer. You were a P5000. Now you're Chairman 50, going Chairman 100. We're going to look at Chairman 50, a couple of years ago, look at it like, wow, man, he was a Chairman 50 back then. Same way we looked at P5 is the same way we're going to look at Chairman 50. And it's about you just growing, doing the same things over and over and over again, and then developing other people, helping other people along. I've been able to, multiply the success in my life because I've been willing to teach other people the principles that I learned, that I applied, that's worked for me, and now it's working for them. And we have literally supernatural success that's taking place all around the world. People that are in my company, people that are outside of my company, doesn't matter. These principles work for whatever it is that you apply. They work, and when you understand it, you can apply it all the time. Like I just set a new goal, for myself. I say, hey, I'm going to earn, I put these signs all over my house. I earn $1 million a day. Okay. I've got to, for it to manifest, I've got to make it clear and obvious to my eyes and to my mind. That's all it is. And through the process of time, it will happen. Okay. Through the process of time. I'm not in a rush, right? I'm not in a hurry. It's kind of like that farmer, when you plant a seed, he doesn't go back out there tomorrow and say, hey, where's my fruit? There's a planting season, there's fertilizing, you got to water that thing, you got this time. And that's what a lot of people miss it. They don't give themselves time to succeed. They want it right away. And guys, listen, wanting it right away is detrimental to your success. It truly is. It's detrimental to your success. My chef comes and he makes breakfast, it doesn't take him 2 minutes to make it. You know, if I want a 2-minute meal, I can get a Hot Pocket. I put the Hot Pocket in the microwave, and boom, 2.5 minutes, I've got my Hot Pocket. But how great of a meal is that if it comes out in 2.5 minutes, right? But if my chef is cooking a 5-course meal, it's gonna take some time. But that 5-course meal is gonna be much greater and much better tasting than a Hot Pocket. A lot of you want Hot Pocket success. You know, my goals are so big that I'm willing to grow into them. They're so far out there. They're so big that I'm willing to grow into them. I'm willing to grow into $1 million a day, because that means that, you know, then it would be $100,000 a day. And then it would be, you know, $250,000 a day. And then it would be $500,000 a day. And it would be $1 million a day. I'm willing to go through that growth process. You know what I mean? Are you willing to grow and be patient and say, okay, I'm going to develop who I am. I'm going to develop how I speak. I'm going to develop how I interact with people. I'm going to develop my communication skills. I'm going to develop my leadership skills. I'm going to give myself time to evolve and get better. That's all it is, guys. That's all it is. And what you do is you set the goal. Guys, not once have I thought that what's happened in this world has derailed where it is that I'm going. No, in no shape or form. It's actually accelerated it, because I believe that everything that happens is working for my good. But see, that's a force that I have on the inside of me. It's that word that I have on the inside of me, that whatever is happening, good or bad, is working for my good. So we've had people that are promoted to Chairman 10, P600, Chairman 50, Chairman 100. Dare I say, that's the phone call I got when I was just on the phone. Chairman 500. You know what I'm saying? So, what quarantine? What happened? I don't know. That's not my issue. We set a goal. We said we're gonna have 1,000 Chairman 10s this year. However that needs to happen, I just needed to make it clear. I needed to make it obvious to my eyes and to my mind. And then whatever needs to happen, hey, God, go figure it out. I'm not. See, guys, when you understand this, it's a place of humility. It's a place of understanding that it's not really you. It's a power that's working through you, but it's not. If you're frustrated, it's because you're looking at things from the standpoint of, I need to do it. How am I going to get this done? If you keep building that way, then yeah, it's going to be very, very, very tough, because the type of success that we're talking about here, it is supernatural. It goes beyond the laws of nature. According to the laws of nature, with my degree, I should be making $10 an hour. The laws of nature says go to school, get good grades, graduate, get a good job. I didn't do that. I did not do that. So according to the laws of nature on this earth, I should be making $10, maybe $11 an hour, right? That's what should be happening. But no, there was supernatural forces. There was a force beyond. That force is words. What are you speaking? What are you seeing? Guys, listen to me. I'm no different than any of you that's on this call. No different. I have challenges just like you. I have great days just like you. I don't have bad days. I may have some bad moments, but I've learned not to have bad days. Okay? But we all go through the same challenges. I've had financial challenges and family challenges, personal challenges. We all have them. But here's the deal, guys. And there is you know what? I'm gonna call someone in here that really knows it. Mom, I'm gonna give y'all some mom. Mom, you there? All right, Mom, come real quick. I don't remember all of this, but I want to make a point here. All right, so you guys can really understand how you can actually win here. What is come? I'm on. You remember Riyadh? Come. They can't see.
Hi.
Hi, it's my mom.
How you guys doing?
All right. So what is the put on the full plate, the full armor? Yeah. What is that?
The armor.
Yeah, the armor.
The pieces of the
armor. Yeah. What are they?
All right. The helmet of salvation.
Okay. So you have the helmet of salvation. What else?
The breastplate of righteousness.
Breastplate of righteousness.
The belt of truth.
Belt of truth.
Your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace.
Okay. Peace. Your feet.
The shield of faith.
Shield of faith.
And the sword of the Spirit.
Okay. All right. Sword of the Spirit. Thank you, Mom. So if you paid attention, the only offensive weapon that you have is the sword. Everything else is defense.
Prayer.
Okay.
Prayer, verse 18.
Which one is that?
That's two offensive weapons: the sword and prayer.
Well, prayer is word.
Everything else is defensive.
Yeah. Okay. Words. That is the only way. If you want to get offensive in your life, you want to get offensive when it comes to you getting to your goals and your dreams. Okay. You listen, this little corny stuff right here, this stuff right here. Okay. You got to do this. Okay. This stuff right here, you have to do it. This right here, you have to do it. Okay. You know, I was doing this. I've been doing this for over 10 years. I've never taken the training wheels off. Never. This is basic one-on-one manifestation. It says to make it clear or obvious to your eyes or your mind. So what are you making obvious to your mind? Are your goals obvious to your mind and to your eyes? All right. Because here's the thing. Your eyes are like that lamp unto your feet. You're going to move in the direction in which your eyes are seeing. And it's not just what your eyes are seeing physically. It's also what your eyes are seeing mentally as well. Okay. And your mind is that navigational system, right? And that navigational system is completely useless. Your mind is completely useless until you master your mind, until you make your mind your servant. And the way you make your mind the servant is through words. Words are everything. What are you speaking? What are you seeing? Because that's what's going to drive you to go and take the action. I don't teach on action. I don't. Every now and then I will. Every now and then I'll teach on asking, okay, you got to go prospect. Oh, you got to go present. Oh, you got to promote for events. I could say that till I'm blue in the face. But if your mind is not set on where it is that you want to go, you're not going to go and do the action long enough for you to succeed. I'm not talking about you doing the action for 1 week or for 1 month. I'm talking about you doing action for years. The only reason why we've been able to take action for years is because we've constantly had our goals in front of us. What is your goal for the month of April? What is your goal for the month of May? What is your goal for the next 90 days? What's your goal for 2020? You know, a lot of people have thrown 2020 out the window. They have literally thrown 2020 out the window just because of the first 4 months. They have said 2020 is the worst year ever. How can it be the worst year ever when there's 12 months? It's 12 months in a year. You have no earthly idea what's on the back end of 2020. What's on the back end of 2020 is utterly supernatural. Do you know what this did for you? This forced you to lean on God. This situation that you're in right now, that's what I love it. When I go through hard times, I know this is forcing me to get back to him, to lean on him even more. And I know what's going to happen the second half of this year. And it's starting right now. It's going to be ridiculous. Matter of fact, let me tell you what it's going to be. It's actually going to be some force beyond scientific understanding the laws of nature. That's exactly what's going to take place in 2020. We started the year. He said this is going to be the year of overflow. Well, that's exactly what it's going to be. It's exactly what it's going to be. I've set goals, $1 million a day. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you when it happens. I'm going to come on live or Zoom or something. Hey, we had $1 million day. I'm gonna tell you that. You'll be like, how? Right here. And some of the haters are gonna be like, well, it's not every day. Calm down. Remember, I told you I gotta grow. I gotta grow into it. So I'm be grateful for the first day that it actually happens. Okay. And then just guys, Bob Proctor said, I wish I could just take a needle and just shove it up your butt for you to really understand it. But this is how it works. And we're no different. Riyadh is no different. Sydney's no different. I'm no different than any one of you. You have that same power. All you've got to do is make that connection and give yourself that access. And you give yourself that access through the words that you're speaking. I want to make sure that the words that I'm speaking are aligned with what he already says about me. I don't lose. I win. I'm a champion. I'm abundance. I'm wealth. You speak those things. I don't care what your situation is. So, David, you don't understand what situation I'm in right now. Okay, so what? I don't understand. Am I supposed to understand? Is that a prerequisite? Okay, fine. If that is a prerequisite for you to feel that you need to like change and get better, fine. I understand. Now what? Now what? What is that? What does me understanding have anything to do with you changing the situation that you're in, changing what you're thinking, changing what it is that you're speaking, changing what it is that you're saying, changing what it is that you're feeling? I was just telling the leader about emotions. Emotions are just words that you've allowed to fester and take root, and it creates an emotion. So if you're going to create the emotion of faith, if you're going to create the emotion of patience, if you're going to create the emotion of love or gratitude, it's a set of words that you let take root in your heart. Okay. And you do this over and over and over again, having full faith, knowing that it's already done. I know every goal that I write down is already done. I've got a goal right now to impact 1 billion people's lives. That's why Believe Nation came out of nowhere. That's why the people that built that platform, they showed up, because this was the time for me to start building that and really going after that vision. But guess what? I had to have this level of success for people to listen, because people don't listen unless you're successful. People don't listen to you unless you've done something that they want to do. Yeah. And I could see it. I could see it starting to happen. It's like, okay, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. So, supernatural success is for each and every one of you. Don't doubt it. That force that is beyond scientific understanding of the laws of nature is on the inside of you. And that force is words. And the way you manifest is to make it clear. When something is clear, all right, not only can you see it, but you can hear it. That's why the last 3 letters in clear is EAR. Okay, so I can hear it, so I speak it, right? And I make it obvious to my eyes, and I make it obvious to my mind. How do I make it obvious to my eyes? I got to see it. I make it obvious to my mind with my words. And this is something you do over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And it's going to happen. So, Rhea, I don't know if you have some questions for me.
My brother. Yes, I do. So,
Hey, Sid.
You did. Yo, so Dave, I got somebody asked in one of my leadership chats. They say, how would you work to improve someone's faith and belief that they can begin to see past their sights?
Well, the only way faith is increased, there's only one known way for faith to be increased, and that is through autosuggestion. Okay, autosuggestion. So what I do is, if I'm sitting down with someone, I say, okay, what do you want? Okay, what do you want? You want someone to say, okay, I want to earn $10,000 a month. That's what you want. You really desire that. Okay, so all right, talk to me. What would your life look like? How would your life be different if you started making 10 grand a month right now? Tell me. What are some of the things that you're having challenges with right now that you wouldn't have challenges with if you're making 10 grand a month? On when you start making 10 grand a month. Okay. All right. And they'll tell me, hey, this. I said, okay, great. So listen, let's do this. Let's create an affirmation, okay, about you making 10 grand a month. So I want you to write this down. I'm so happy and grateful now that I earn over $10,000 a month by December 31st, 2020. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to create a sign, and I want you to print it 20 times, and I want you to put it everywhere. I want you to put it in your bathroom, put it in your closet, put it in your kitchen, put it in your car. I want you to put it everywhere where you can see it. And every single day, all throughout the day, I just want you to speak it to yourself that you're earning that type of income. Okay? Because the only way they can actually grow their faith, right, and change what it is that they see, they have to change what it is that they're hearing, right? So I only want them to hear what their goal is. Does that make sense? And then I only want them to see what their goal is as well. The only way you can change what it is that you're seeing is to give yourself another vision. You know, Bob has taught us, they said, you don't fight the past, don't fight the old model, create a new model that makes the old model obsolete. Does that make sense? So instead of me fighting my old goals or the life that I had and trying to change the life that I had, no, let me create a whole new vision for myself. Let me create a whole new life for myself, right? That makes my past obsolete, that makes it irrelevant. Okay, so that's exactly what I would do. You know, if someone said, okay, how do I go about increasing my faith? The only way to increase your faith is through the power of auto-suggestion. All right, it's the only way to do it.
There it is. So I got two more for you before we get you off the line, bro. Next one, what was your aha moment that really made you tap in and go serious in the business, in the industry of network marketing? What was that aha moment for you that made you wake up?
Man, that aha moment happened for me 16 years ago. It was July or August of 2004. I was in Las Vegas. I had driven down. I was in a 15-passenger van with 20 people and went down to my very first convention. And what happened was I had got this tape on how to do a PBR. And it was Darnell Self on that tape and Brian Carruthers. And Darnell told a story at the end of that tape. And he said, and that story was basically about, you know, you don't know whose life you're going to touch. So if you quit, you don't know whose life you're going to make a difference in that you could have made a difference in, but you walked away. Does that make sense? And I listened to that tape over and over and over again. And I went to Las Vegas. That was my very first convention. And they had this platinum suites, right? This platinum suites, and you had to be a platinum to be up there. If you're a platinum, like you were, you know, like a six-figure earner or something like that back then. And I snuck up there. I didn't have a pass to get there. I snuck through security, got it because I had to meet Darnell Self. And I was 21 years old. And I'm telling you, I had tears in my eyes. I walked right up to him, shook his hand, and I said, man, you have no idea what you've done for me. I appreciate you. And that was it. I just walked away. I didn't even wait to see what his response was. I just wanted to tell him that. And it was at that event where I knew that I found it, and I was just in tears. That aha moment for me was a tremendous amount of tears because I knew I had found a way that I was going to be able to take care of my daughter. You know, Kayla had just been born at that time, and you know, I was struggling financially, you know, really, really bad. And when I found network marketing, it was like my way out, because then I was working in retail. I was making $8 an hour, right? So I had no direction whatsoever in my life. So when I found it, I was like, yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. And I gave myself 4 years. I said, I'm gonna be rich in 4 years. That's what I said. By 25, I'll be rich. And I didn't get rich by 25, but I found an opportunity at 25 before I turned 26 that allowed me to make my first million by 27. So I think your aha moment is an emotional awakening that happens on the inside of you, where you know your name is David, like you know you're going to be successful. That's when you have that moment.
There it is, man. So last question. You talked about emotions a little bit earlier. How important would you say the emotions of love and gratitude are for your faith?
It's everything. Faith comes by hearing, but faith works through love. Okay? So it's two different things there. Faith comes by hearing. So what I'm hearing, you know, faith comes by hearing. Fear comes by hearing too. Okay? Fear comes by hearing too. But faith works through love, just like fear works through hate. Okay. Fear works through hate. Faith works through love. So if your faith is not working, more than likely what you need to do is you need to check your love walk, right? And in business, the way to really check that is, how do you really feel about other people's success?
That's strong.
Yeah. How are you genuinely really happy for other people's success, or are you in competition with them? And a lot of times when you're in competition with someone, they're probably not even in competition with you, but you're in competition with them, right? So you've got to check that and say, okay, where's my love work right now? And gratitude is the ultimate multiplier. Gratitude is a sign of trust. That's what it is. It means that I trust. I'm grateful before it actually happens. I don't need to see it happen physically for me to be grateful for it. That's why it says, whichever things you desire, when you pray, believe that you receive them and you will have them. So I receive it first and then it shows up. Receiving is that gratitude. Receiving is saying thank you, right? Thank you. Hey, listen, I'm sending you $1 million. What are you going to do? You're going to say thank you. Even though the $1 million hasn't hit your account yet, you're still going to say what? Thank you. All right. So love, the forgiveness, wanting to see other people succeed, wanting to, you've eliminated that hatred and that jealousy and that envy, right? And those feelings are they're very natural. Those are natural feelings that most people have. But once again, you got to create the affirmation of, hey, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm successful. I'm so happy and grateful now that, people are winning. People are having success in my business. People are having success in my industry. All right. And that's why I will go out of my way to celebrate people that are not in my company. I will go out of my way and celebrate people and coach and mentor people that are not in my company, because I'm removing whatever those negative emotions are. I'm deliberately moving that out of my life. You have to do that. You have to do that. So even in my last company, I would do conference calls for people that were not in my group. One of the biggest organizations that we have right now, one of the biggest organization that we have in the entire company right now, really started from 2014 when I met Dr. Spiller right here in my home. And I had an event in Fort Lauderdale. He wasn't in my group, but I bought his flight to the event. He wasn't in my group. I had no financial benefit whatsoever to him getting involved in that business. But that gesture, that seed that was sown with no thought of, oh, I'm going to do this because I'm going to benefit later on. No, I didn't know that. I was in that company. I thought I was going to be in that company the rest of my life. When I left that company, he was one of the people that reached out to me and said, hey, whatever it is that you're doing, I want to do it too.
Wow.
Right. So, and then, you look at DL, I never talked to DL about I am. Never. He had filmed a video, and I liked the quality of video that he filmed for Jared. And I called Jared. I said, hey, Jared, do you mind if I have DL, film, my first IML presentation? And he said, yeah, sure. So I gave him a call, said, hey, man, can you film it? He came by, him and his wife, Kiana, came by, they filmed it. I didn't say, hey, man, you need to do this. You need to get involved. I paid him. I think it was like $1,200 to film the presentation. And he went and he started editing it and watching the presentation over and over again. And it kept playing in his head. And he's like, oh, we might need to do this. And he gets involved and he introduces it to the Thompsons. And what do we have today? Supernatural success. So it's just, how do you treat people? All that is going to play into your success.
There we go, Dave. Last question before we get up out here. I want to get something practical. What are the steps? Because you've developed, just a crap load of people, so many chairmen. So what are your steps of developing a leader?
All right. So, developing of a leader, that's never a question that can be answered just at one go. So I'm going to recommend two books for you. Okay. Number one is Developing the Leader Within You. Okay. That's by John C. Maxwell. After you study that book, study Developing Leaders Around You. Okay. Developing Leaders Around You. That's by John C. Maxwell as well. Leadership is influence, the ability to influence. Leadership is being an example. Leadership is integrity. Leadership is character. Leadership is work ethic. Leadership is having a pleasing personality. Leadership is being able to communicate with people effectively. There's about 25 different characteristics. A positive mental attitude is one of them. Ingenuity, creativity, so many different characteristics. So you want to study that book and start developing some of those attributes. And what's going to happen is, based on who it is that you're becoming, you're going to start attracting. Okay. So someone just put in there humility. Humility is definitely one of them as well. You're going to attract other people that will be like-minded like you. And so my top three that I really look for is they have a positive mental attitude. Okay. They have a pleasing personality. And it's actually top four. They have a pleasing personality. They have incredible work ethic, and they're humble. Okay. And Riyad, when I saw you, when I met you, I guess a couple of years ago now, that's what I saw. I saw someone who had a positive mental attitude about who they were. I saw someone who had incredible work ethic, someone who had a pleasing personality, and was humble. And that's why you've achieved the level of success that you have so far. And that's why you're going to continue to even go to higher heights in this business and in life as well.
There it is, Dave. I thank you so much for being on this call, man. Dave, you drop your site, I believe it's believenation.com. Don't want to get it wrong. Drop your site for the game.
Yes. BelieveNation.com. It's a free online training mentorship program that I've put out for the world to impact 1 billion people. We're growing every single day. We're approaching 14,000 people that are part of it now. Next goal is 100,000. So if you haven't registered yet, go to BelieveNation.com and just get your site for free. I'm doing a live training within Believe Nation on the 23rd at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern. So you can go to BelieveNation.com so you can get in on that. Right now we're talking about thriving versus surviving. That's the topic for the month of April. So there's going to be a topic every single month that we'll be really focused on and really helping people. In 12 months, your belief system will be completely different once you're part of Believe Nation. So go there and get in.
There it is. Thank you so much for being on the call tonight, Dave. Bless the family. We appreciate you, bro. And man, we can't wait to see you at the next big event.
Yes, sir. You too, man. You stay safe out there. Keep rocking, all right?
All right, man. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care, guys.
Boom. So
right.
Dave on the line giving us a crap load of value. Can we drop some wind in the chat if you got value from Big Dave? We about to get off the line. You know me. I don't like to overcook the grits at all. He gave us enough value on living a supernatural life. So I just got one quick announcement. Starting tomorrow, from tomorrow until Friday, so it'll be 4 days. We'll be running 4 opportunity calls a day. So the opportunity calls will be at 4 p.m., 6 p.m., 8 p.m., and 10 p.m., all times Eastern. It'll be multiple leaders doing these calls and whatnot. So if you got guests, you want to get your guests on the line so that we can, again, keep the momentum going in the direction that's going. So many new Platinum 600s, so many new Platinum 1000s are being created. We got a Chairman 25 about to break pretty soon. Some more Chairman 10s about to break pretty soon. Some Platinum 5000s about to drop this week. So it's a lot of success happening, guys. And I believe each and every single one of you deserve more success than you're experiencing right now. Like David said, if he can achieve those levels of success, then everybody on this line can, because everybody has that same supernatural power working on the inside of them. The key is just believing it. That gentleman has been believing for, years now, 16, 17 years in the industry. that he's been believing and teaching, right? You only get to keep what you give. You only get to keep what you give. You only get to keep what you give. The more value that you give to the marketplace, the more value that you receive, the more value that you'll be able to understand. The more money you give away, the more money you will receive, right? You only get to keep what you give. So you want more value in your life. You want to be able to understand more and get deeper understanding of information on leadership. Give it to people. Give belief to people. Give faith to people. Show people that example of what it looks like to work. Right? That's your role as a leader. Your role as a leader, your role as somebody who's becoming a leader is setting that example. And that's what David Imonitie has been for thousands of people all across the world. So with that being said, guys, the call is over. I love you all. Let's have an amazing week. Remember, the calls are at 4, 6, 8, and 10. It'll be on this very link. So if you have guests, tap in. I love you guys. Let's have an amazing week.